I'm Glenn Weinzimmer, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Gay Pornhub goes dark in Florida as VPN demand surges by 1,000%. Florida has seen a 1,150% rise in VPN demand after Pornhub blocked state access. The block follows legislation that requires an ID to access adult content, mirroring similar laws nationwide. As a result, Pornhub, the world's largest adult site, has blocked access in 17 U.S. states, including Florida, Tennessee, and South Carolina. Forbes reports that VPNMentor, quote, detected a surge of 1,150% in VPN demand in Florida in the first few hours, end quote. After the law came into effect on January 1st, they called it a staggering surge. VPNs let users browse privately, bypassing location-based restrictions, but carry cybersecurity risks. Cybersecurity companies like Kaspersky have warned of malicious apps posing as VPNs. Amid rising demand for private browsing, Pornhub owner Aylo, however, criticized some state laws, saying they go too far with restrictions. This is pretty amazing because we recently talked about Pornhub being the number one,
porn
place for porn.
Yeah.
And here we are, just a week or two later, and this law has come into effect. And I don't know how many of you even knew that was happening, because I really wasn't aware till basically today in reading the story. What amuses me about this is that Republicans don't want they don't want government in your life. Yet in this case, they're letting the government make a decision for everybody else.
Yeah.
And so they've almost made it harder, because if someone underage tries to get into it, they can through VPN with very few restrictions.
Yeah.
Where prior to that, you as a parent could set up blocks of sites your kids can't get to. So I think they may have made it easier instead of harder, and I understand why people want to be in a VPN, because they're not being followed. And so, if you have a career you're concerned about, if you're a community person or a political person, you don't want someone following where you've been and then use that against you.
Yeah.
But, it's crazy. It's a entertainment site, we'll call it that, because that's pretty much is what it is, because I'm sure everyone that watches is being entertained at that moment,
Yeah.
where they wouldn't be looking. And it's mind-boggling, and it's the whole South. That's what's crazy.
You know when I found out? January 2nd, when I went looking for my porn, okay? That's when I found out, okay? And it's funny because Queer News Tonight was on vacation, right? So, we would have probably told you that story January 1st when we would have been here, right? Because nobody else said a story. Nobody else said, hey, watch out, Janury 1st is tomorrow. A lot more than 2025 is happening. You're losing your porn, right? And people would have been on it.
It was not breaking news on any major station.
No, you want to know how I found out about it? It was somebody's update on their Facebook page, okay? And they're like, "What Pornhub?
Where's my porn?"
And okay, and you guess what I did next?
I
had to go look. I wasn't blocked, so I clearly am. I guess I'm surfing openly.
Yeah, look at you. You're a surfing nomad.
You might be VPNing this whole time and didn't even know it.
I wasn't VPNing. I don't know. Maybe I was. I don't know. I kind of do that when I go overseas.
We don't need to.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, you brought up a couple things, right?
That was the point.
Yeah, the fact that we have to be private about, there's a stigma around porn, and oh my God forbid your sexual being who likes to be freaky and that you have your kinks or you have your curiosities, or maybe you've never been with someone, and you want to learn how it's done. Who knows why you go to porn, okay?
And everybody goes to porn, not just LGBTQ.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the fact that it's just another way to shame us into and fearmonger us that now you are being, you're being monitored. Now it's again fear,
You're being judged.
fear. You're
Fear
being
of being
judged.
judged.
You're being shamed. You're being this. Oh my God! Like, guys, go out there and get some fresh air, man.
No, and it's always those crazy people that need to have more sex because they need the sex. You know, and this is all presented to people. This is all presented to people as a way to for the safety of children. Okay, that is how it's presented
right.
to people. Okay, and that's a crock because as a child you will figure out another way to get that information. You will go to your friend's house and use their mom's phone. Okay, like to see the porn that you need. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You know,
And there was a time where Playboy and Penthouse were the big things you had to worry about.
National Geographic was my shit. I loved it.
They're taking the responsibility of raising your kids from the parents and saying, you know what, parents, you guys don't know how to raise your kids.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it as a government.
Yeah.
And that's just like that's where we're missing the mark here in society right now, is that we're just continuing to create all these programs that take the power of raising children out of the parents' hands. Instead of supporting parents to be better parents or have the things that they need to provide for their kids, you know, a house, food, clothing on their back, the necessities, okay? Instead of creating the monies and the programs and allocating it to parents and helping them, no, you know what? We're gonna make school lunches. And we're gonna now you don't have to learn how to make your kid lunch anymore. You wanted to have a kid, but you don't even want to make your kid lunch anymore. Right. You don't want to get up and make them breakfast. Now the government is in control or responsible for raising your kids. So this is a conversation, you know what I mean? And I'm not about ripping away programs that help parents be parents.
Right.
But what I am not really for is for supporting parents who are not being parents. That I don't do.
And there's an educational part of this. And as weird as this in the direction it goes, but the state of Florida can no longer have sex education in schools. So you're hearing about sex not anywhere.
Not anywhere.
It's complete abstinence. I know the World AIDS Museum was doing classes on sexual health and all the STDs you could potentially get. And they were told they can't go into any schools this year because the only thing they're allowed to talk about is abstinence. And that is ridiculous. And so, right, like that's not a reality as a teenager.
And they're still going to go have sex. They're still going to go find it.
And now they're going to have unprotected sex. They're going to start getting STDs at a young age. They're going to
and then they can't even watch someone else, so they learn what they're doing, so it's not so awkward.
Wow. So I have a question in terms of Pornhub. Was this?
Don't play dumb.
Well, no. I'm going down a different road. So. Was Pornhub targeted specifically?
No.
Or was it all porn?
All porn sites. You have to give your age.
Porn site.
For us here in Florida, not every state.
So
I think there's like 15 of us, 15 states or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but again, we're very resourceeful in our community, okay? Everybody's still watching porn through Surfshark. Just to let you know. Okay? Just to let you know. Write that down. Write that down. Surfshark, okay? Thank you, Auntie Mame. Thank you.
You guys are so funny. I watched a movie during the film festival. It's like, okay, I don't want to see this. I went into the bathroom. But anyway, you know, the thing is that the pendulum, well, I'm still a Michigan.
She's so cute. I love it.
You know, what can I tell you? To have a nice day kind of girl. When I think the pendulum swings all the way in one direction. And what we're seeing is that, in my opinion, my humble opinion, and it's gone, they needed to go over here so that it could eventually come back to some kind of median. Because I was so heartbroken. I have not turned on the news. I was a news junkie, morning, noon, and night. Literally, I will wake up and put them in my ears and go to sleep the same way, driving in the car, whatever it was. But when you look at that map, and this is the reality of it. There's 4 corners of the map that are blue and everything else is red. You have to kind of figure out that this whole thing is just too much for those people, whoever they are. That center of everything, and you have literally 4 corners I'm a visual person. I didn't need to see a single number. I didn't need to see anything except for to look at that picture and say, okay, this is where we are. Doesn't matter what I think is right. Because this is where we are. This is our reality, and it's got to come to a different place. So people like us have to be the catalyst for that.
But like you said, the pendulum will actually eventually swing the other
It
way.
has to.
So,
It's
you
just
know,
history.
wherever we are in this topic,
We won't
you know,
be there tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
I cling to that.
Surfshark.
Mm.
So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. I'm gonna call Sabrina and tell her Surfshark. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.